was 10 when we moved to Birmingham, Alabama. My dad was sent there to build a church. When you move a lot as a child, you're the new family on the block. Our community was not well kept. There was litter on the streets. It was hot, and it takes a while to adjust to that. And then we had to get used to seeing all these signs. I began to see, well, wait a minute, what is this? What is this craziness? I rebelled. When we would get on the bus, they would have these little signs that you had to sit behind, colored and white, but you could move them. So I would move mine as far to the front as possible. You could go to an ice cream store. On one side, you had places to sit and eat your ice cream. On the other side, you had to either stand or buy it and leave. Of course, I went to the other side, and I was sent back. I just had to do that. I just felt like, you know what, this is wrong. Wherever I felt like I could take a sip from the white fountain, I would.
After the Civil War, many African Americans hoped to become equal and join society as full citizens. Some white Americans welcomed them. Others used ignorance, racism, and self-interest to sustain and spread racial divisions. By the 1900s, new laws and old customs in the North and South had created a segregated society that made African Americans of color to second-class citizens.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. That one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
He was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1929. He was the son of a pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church. King himself was ordained in 1947 and became a minister of a Baptist church in Montgomery, Atlanta. He led the black boycott of segregated city bus lanes. In 1956, he gained victory as a civil rights leader when Montgomery buses began to operate on designated bases. King organized a Southern Christian Leadership Conference to pursue further civil rights activities. His philosophy of nonviolent resistance led him to get arrested numerous times in the 1950s and 60s. King's protest at the Birmingham in 1963 brought worldwide attention. In August 1963, he bought the March of Washington, and in 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. On April 4, 1968, he was shot and killed as he stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel.
My dearest friend is now in the hands of the eternal God. We therefore commit his body to the ground. The cemetery is too small for his spirit, but we commit his body to the ground. The grave is too narrow for his soul, but we commit his body to the ground. No coffin, no crypt, nor vault, no stone can hold his greatness, but we commit his body to the ground.
King wrote Stride Toward Freedom in 1958, Why We Can't Wait in 1964, and Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community in 1967. We now celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday on the third Monday of January.
My dear fellow clergymen, while confined here in the Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling my present activities unwise and untimely. Seldom do I pause to answer criticism of my work and ideas. If I sought to answer all the criticisms that crossed my desk, my secretaries would have little time for anything other than such correspondence in the course of the day, and I would have no time for constructive work. But since I feel that you are men of genuine goodwill and that your criticisms are sincerely set forth, I want to try to answer your statement in what I hope will be patient and reasonable terms.
In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. targeted Birmingham, Alabama with peaceful protests that were aimed to end segregation. Hundreds of protesters, including King himself, were arrested. 8 white clergymen wrote a letter saying that his actions were unwise and untimely. In turn, he responded by quoting religious scholars, philosophers, and biblical figures in his own letter, justifying his actions. In Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail, African Americans were urged to stand up for their rights. King compares and contrasts just and unjust laws, and he told which should be followed. He states that a just law is a law that helps a person's personality and follows the Bible. On the other hand, an unjust law goes against the Bible's teaching and puts other people down. He believed that as citizens, it is everyone's job to realize which are the just and unjust laws, and which ones should be followed.